أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات أما بعد. We thank Allah Azza wa Jal for having blessed us by making us among the Ummah of Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We continue to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making us Muslim. And this is not a light matter. This is not a light matter. Being Muslim is not a light matter. It is the greatest mercy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could give to any of his servants, any of his creation. Making you among those who willingly, consciously make a decision. I am prepared to submit my will to the will of Allah Azza wa Jalla. That is not a light matter. Being prepared to submit your will to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is not a light matter. We have in Surah Yusuf, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored Yusuf alayhi salam to be a prophet and a ruler in one. His father was a prophet, Yaqub. His grandfather was a prophet, Ishaq. His great-grandfather, prophet, Ibrahim. And yet, when Yusuf alayhi salam was, after all those things have been achieved, in Surah Yusuf we read, where he begged Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make him die as a Muslim. He begged Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make him die as a Muslim. After achieving all those feats, after going through all that, that life experience, the bottom line was to die as Muslim. Because it does not matter how we run the race, it's how we finish that matters. It's how we finish that matters. So that is what is important in order we die, for us to die with kalima shahada in our hearts and our tongues. No matter what we have done in our life, it would have come to naught unless we leave this world in a state of Islam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given us a very simple statement that he has been sent to help us to perfect our character, our akhlaq. He has sent for that purpose, for us to perfect our character. Yusuf alayhi salam went through a process. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him through a whole process in order for him to build the character. Went through a lot of difficulties. As a youth, he saw in this dream where the 11 stars and the moon prostrated before him. His father said, "Do tell your brothers about this dream." His father, Yaqub, said, "Do tell your brothers about this dream. Because Shaitan is an enemy to mankind." So Shaitan would not approve, and he would sow in the hearts of weaker men, enmity, jealousy. So what they did, the brothers of Yusuf, they conspired. And they said, "Let me throw him in a well." So they threw him in this well, and the caravan that was passing, all of us know the story, take him out and sell him into slavery for a few small change, little small coins. And eventually he ended up in Egypt, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted him to establish the deen of Islam. By what? His character. Why do you think that these women and them were so after Yusuf? He was handsome. Yes, but there are plenty handsome men. What they saw is a light emanating from his soul, his character. And they wanted to lock into that. They wanted to latch into that. So beauty in Islam is not just physical. You might see somebody who you might consider to be not physically attractive, but the character will embrace you based on the adab, based on the conduct, based on how they treat with each other. And there will be this person who will be handsome, beautiful looking, a woman, anything. But you won't know part. Or they like Jezebel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to perfect our character and end up at the end of the day with Allah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with us. So the battle begins in the quest for perfection of our character. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once told the companions, they were coming from one of the battles, and he said, now we are leaving the small battle to go back to the major, the big battle. So they now come, in the battle for sword and all these different kind of things. And now he tell them, we leave the small battle, which is that one, to go back to the big one. They say, what is the big one? He said, jihad nafs, fighting against your desires, submitting that desire. That is the big jihad. It's not an easy exercise to conquer that nafs, which is reported to be like a seven-headed dragon. That is what we are about. That is the major jihad, and that is internal. That battle is internal, and we have to fight that relentlessly. And until we conquer that weakness, that those desires within us, which constitute the nafs, it was only when we conquer that, then we will be able to be in a place of some level of comfort. Other than that, no rest. Because the nature of this nafs, the desires of people, it goes after things that we love. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this dunya with the things that we like. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Jannah and Jahannam, He decorated and made the road easy to enter Jahannam by decorating it. And He made the road to Jannah with trials and tribulations. Trials and tribulations. So in order to enter Jannah, we have to conquer and fight and struggle to perfect our character. So this is not a light matter, Muslims. So when Yusuf alayhi salam, after having achieved all those worldly benefits, he charged Egypt, control all the food in a time of famine, have leadership where his name is established as a pure and righteous man, that all these women were chasing again after, and he didn't succumb to he said, I'd rather go and sit down in the jail. I'd rather go and sit down in the jail than succumb to all you and what all you calling me to hear. Because at the end of the day, I understand what you're calling me to hear. What you're calling me to hellfire. So better go and sit down in the jail and until Allah ready to deal with my affair. I want no part of all and all bacchanal, because the woman not giving up. They're not giving up. You know, the plotting and the scheming and some of the bad talking, the Aziz wife, because she fall for him. So she take, she call all the women, all the bad talking, call all of them and give them some fruit and thing and give them a sharp knife in their hand. Say, well, let me eat them. And when she do so, she move the curtain and she present Yusuf to them. And when instead of cutting the fruit, all of them cutting into their hand. When they see it. When they see the fruit, instead of cutting fruit, the cutting flesh, the old flesh, the cutting. So the Bangkok and she, all of them had the same disease. All of them had the same disease that she had. So the struggle of a believer is not an easy struggle. Imam Ahmad Hanbal, when he was on his deathbed, his sons were around him, and they asked him to recite the kalima and so on. And they hear him reciting, not yet, not yet, not yet. So they're a little confused. Because on the way out, but he's saying, not yet, not yet. So when he recovered back and so on, a little bit of consciousness, they started asking, what happened? Why are you saying not yet, not yet? See, because you see, Shaitan came to me and say, you get through, boy. Say, not yet. I ain't get through yet. Because my soul's still in my body. When the soul leaves this body, and I go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a believer, then I get through. Because the shaitan would come on our deathbed to try to raff Iman from us. He will come on our deathbeds and try to raff it from us, wrestle it from us, come with some kind of trick in order to deceive us. But that is his plot. That is what he has committed himself to. I will ambush all of them who are on the straight path, from the right and from the left and from the top and from the bottom and so forth. So he keeping his commitment. So as Muslims, we must be on our guard all the time. We must always guard our Iman. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us as a people, as a ummah, the tools in order for us to succeed. Establish your prayer, because that establishing that prayer is a constant contact with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. In constant contact, constant interfacing. So you're not leaving any room for the shaitan. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the other things. He give us fasting in the month of Ramadan, which is just a month and something away. Give us that in order to defend ourselves, to strengthen ourselves, to empower ourselves. That is one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. He has given us the institution of zakah, where our wealth that we love so much, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instructed us to give out of that for my pleasure, for the poor and for the needy. He has given us the Hajj, and He has given us all the other deeds that we need to do in order for us to purify ourselves. So the nafs, this jihad in nafs, that the Prophet said, peace be upon him, told the companions, we leave in the small battle to go back to the big one, is perpetual, it's continuous, it's ongoing. As long as we are alive. So we have, our road clear in front of us. The road to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a clear road. But it has all different, situations where we could get diverted from the straight path. Diversion. And beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to die with Imam. As for Yusuf alayhi salam, after achieving all those things, and we could read it if we pick up the Quran and we go from ayat in Surah Yusuf, from ayat like from 100 until probably 104, we'll be able to get a clear picture, how Yusuf alayhi salam was communicating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the effect he says, "Oh my Rabb, you have indeed given me sovereignty. You taught me the interpretation of dreams. Oh, the creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and in the hereafter. Make me die as a Muslim and admit me among the righteous." So he outlined all that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. Interpretation of dreams, sovereignty, prophethood, everything. But the bottom line, which he understood was the most essential, is to make him die as a Muslim and be among the company of the righteous. Anytime we understand what this deen is about, we find ourselves with our feet planted firmly. Nobody can come with no stupidness and rock you off the path. When you understand this deen, you'll be resolute, you'll be firm. That all the coming and all the ideas and the distractions and who feel they know and everybody coming up with new ideas and trying to deviate you from the path, you can't get moved from the path. You're not moving, we're going. Because I firm on my belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my Rabb and He is the one who is responsible, and He is the one who is responsible for my sustenance, my protection, my guidance. As a people, we need to understand what this deen is and implement what is required for us as individuals to be among those who succeed. It's not automatic. This part of Islam is not an easy acquisition. You can't just acquire it just like that. You cannot be a believer until you go through the reality of trials and tests. You cannot. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said so. Do men think that they will Surah Ankabut, read it for yourself? Do people feel that they will say we believe and they would not be tested? Allah tested them before, and you're going to prove the truth from the false. So the test will come. It must come in all different ways. Deen al-Haq, Islam, is a deen that is based on people, individuals, struggling in order, to bring about the understanding of what it means to be a true abd, a true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a struggle, a process that we must go through. But we cannot get it, as I say, cheap. It calls for effort, it calls for work. He who believes and do good deeds. This is not Christianity, where people are saying we believe and we save. No. You must establish a prayer, you must do the good deeds in order to bring about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's barakah. You must do. And that now is like everything else. If a man is into bodybuilding, he has to train. If a man into running races, he had to train. Whatever you do, you have to train, practice, develop your thing. You're a carpenter, you have to practice your art. You have to develop it by practicing, doing things. You can't say, well, I learned that trade and I just sit down, you forget it. You lose the skill. So the practice is every day, all the time, doing the good deeds. And fighting and struggling. And it's a personal matter. This has nothing to do with your brother. It has something to do with him, but it is your jihad. It is my jihad as an individual. I'm the person who closest to my heart. So I have to know when my heart is sincere and when it is not. So I always have to examine looking for hypocrisy in my heart. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this for people to be, to be pleased with me or for some other ulterior motive? What am I doing this for? But I keep going. Allah bless his soul. He used to have in front day training, and he knuckles doing push-ups, and he leave it in that hot sun. On me knuckles, and so all he watching and say, who are you doing this for? Forget about Allah. That's the response we are going to make. And how we have knuckles in that piece of Baba going outside. So we must understand this deed. It comes with a work, it comes with struggle, it comes with sacrifice. It would not be achieved otherwise. It would not be achieved otherwise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to understand the nature of this deen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be among those who do what is required, so that when we are about to leave this world, which all of us have our timeline, nobody knows who's going first. May Allah keep that hidden from us, so that when we on that we depart, we are ready to depart, our soul is leaving, we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. That is true success. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa barakatuh. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر بالحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأقيموا الصلاة.